get more analysis on this ceasefire, and I'm joined by Sami Al-Arian in our Istanbul studio. He's the director of the Center for Islam and Global Affairs at Istanbul Zaim University. Sami, this ceasefire proposal seems like it has been so long in the making. And Antony Blinken, in that speech there, even said whenever it gets over the line, this will be a Blinken deal, referring back to the deal we had basically in the summer. Why has it taken so long if this proposal is so similar to what was there before?
Well, the main reason is, of course, Netanyahu and the complicit American administration, whether it's Blinken or Biden, both supported Netanyahu in all his decisions. Trump made it very clear that he doesn't want this on his plate when he takes office next week. So basically, when you look at the structure and substance of this agreement, of this deal, it's also almost the same as the one that was proposed back in July, also which was the same one proposed by Biden back on May 27th. Netanyahu didn't want any of that. He vowed for what he called total victory. He wanted to defeat Hamas. He wanted Hamas to surrender. He wanted to release all the captives without any kind of a deal, but through military pressure, and he failed on all these scores.
I mean, we say the deal is very close to what there was. Are there any substantive differences that you've been able to pick out between what we had 6 months ago and what we understand is being considered right now?
Not really. You know, if you look at the main conditions of this deal, which was an Israeli withdrawal eventually, that's going to happen, which is the return of the Palestinians to the north, that is going to happen without being harassed. When we talk about not only the withdrawal, but also the end of the war permanently, that's also being promised and pledged and guaranteed by the three mediators, the US, Qatar, and Egypt. And when you look at the schedule, it's almost the same schedule, 42 days in 3 stages. So it's pretty much the same deal. Now we have a little bit more details about who's going to be released, how many would be withdrawn, how many meters would be withdrawn to the borders, what kind of prisoners will take place in terms of the exchange, how many people will be released on the Israeli side, in which day. All these were partly negotiated before, now they are fully negotiated.
If, as you say, one of the key factors in making this happen right now is incoming President Trump, what was he able to say or do differently in terms of his relationship with Netanyahu and the Israelis to kind of get them here now?
Some people think that Trump has contempt for Netanyahu, which could be true because Trump is very personal in his relationships. But I think more importantly, Trump has a lot on his plate. He has a lot of domestic problems and challenges he has to face. He also has this international situation with China, the rivalry with China, and with the war in Ukraine with Russia. So he has so much that he has to deal with in terms of also the trade deals and so on and so forth. He doesn't want this war to distract him from all that. But more importantly, I think he's promising the Zionist regime, Netanyahu, that he can deliver on positive things. He thinks that he can probably deter Iran. He can probably put what he calls extreme sanctions on Iran to stop its nuclear program. He probably can deliver something on the West Bank in which Smotrich and the other right-wing extremist and fascist members of Netanyahu's government would like to see more annexation of the West Bank. And also he may deliver something on Syria. So in many fronts, he's saying, why are you, why are you doing this in Gaza where I can deliver this to you, particularly this normalization deal that he's been promising through the Abraham Accords with Saudi Arabia.
And we've seen Israel sign a different truce deal in the last few months, one with Lebanon. In that deal, they retained the right to attack if they felt threatened. And we've seen them exercise that right. Do you think they'll try and do the same in Gaza?
That's not right, by the way. That's not in the agreement. This is something was a side deal between them and the American administration. It has nothing to do with the deal. Israel just also wants the flexibility and freedom to act when it wants, but that's not in the deal at all. I mean, it's very possible that Netanyahu would do through the first phase, get 33 captives back and then renege on it and start again. But I think Trump is not interested in any of that. I think he gave Israel all the time it wants. It had 15 months to so-called finish the job. Let's remember, back when Trump was on the campaign trail, he thought, I'm going to win, and I want Israel to finish the job before I get into office. Now, Israel did not finish the job. It couldn't defeat Hamas. It could not defeat the resistance. Whatever Netanyahu promised his people, he failed miserably, and therefore we can say with confidence that Israel was not able to achieve its goals, and therefore it was defeated.
All right, well, as you say, much to look out for, the devil in the detail. Sami Al-Arian from Istanbul Zaim University, thank you so much for joining us on the News Hour.